Happy Thursday, everyone. My name is Nicole, and I will be starting APL Mystery Reads in just a hot second. 1 o'clock APL Mystery Reads. For those of you who haven't tuned in before, how this APL Mystery Reads works is I will be reading you the first chapter or the first 15 minutes of the book. I will not reveal the book title or the author until the end. That way you can kind of get a feel for the book without having any preconceived notions about the author or the book itself. After the reading, I will be giving you a short book talk about the book, maybe why you should read it, and a little bit of information about the author. The book talk will be posted later on our YouTube channel, especially if you're curious and want to tune in. I'm only going to give you 2 hints for right now. So my first hint is that it is available in our digital collection as an ebook through Hoopla. My second hint is that it is categorized into juvenile fiction under classics and fantasy and magic. Ooh. Some of you might get this right away for those of you who are tuning in. So just, if you already know, just enjoy my reading. If you don't know, you will find out later. So I am going to start. Chapter 1. All children, except one, grow up. She let down a tape from the window to the pavement, and it was a sheer drop of 30 feet, without so much as a spout to climb up by. Certainly, Wendy had been dreaming. All right, so that was about 15 minutes of this first chapter of this book. Some people might already know this book right now based on some of the names of the characters I had previously mentioned. However, I'm going to give a minute or two and I'm going to pause. If anyone has any guesses as to what this book may be, but I will reveal it in just about 1 minute. And yes, I love this comment. Had no idea how this story really began. For those of you, when I give the reveal, I was definitely surprised at how this story first started from what I remember it. If you already know it, feel free to drop a comment. Spoiler alert, people, that's totally fine. I definitely did with some of the characters in my reading, but that was the first chapter as promised. So I will give it about 20 more seconds and then I will do the quote unquote big reveal, though it may not be that big to some people, but you never know. Okay, so big reveal. Some of you may not have known, some of you might already know, but this is the actual story of Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, or as someone in the comments said, the boy who wouldn't grow up. For those of you who might not be aware, Sir James Matthew Barrie was actually born on May 9th in 1860 in Scotland. He had dreamed of being an author, but his family urged him to be a minister. As a compromise, he agreed to attend university but would study literature. He attended the University of Edinburgh and graduated in April of 1882. He then went on to become a staff journalist for the Nottingham Journal, and he ended up submitting some stories about his mother growing up to the St. James Gazette in London, which served as the basis for some of his first novels, A Window in Thrums, Auld Licht Idylls, and The Little Minister. He then moved to London to become a playwright, and one of his first plays was called Isbin's Ghosts, and that was a major success. It was there in London he met the Llewellyn Davis boys, who were the inspirations that had him write about a young boy who has magical adventures in Kensington Gardens. He wrote the book The Little White Bird in 1902, where the character of Peter Pan first appeared in. Then in 1904, he wrote the play Peter Pan, or The Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up, where the character Wendy and the setting of Neverland was introduced. Even though Barrie wrote many other successful works, Peter Pan definitely overshadowed them all. He even ended up unofficially adopting the Davis boys following their parents' death. In 1913, he was made a baronet by George V, and before he died, he gave the rights to Peter Pan to the Great Ormond Street Hospital for Children. The story of Peter Pan, as you all may have known, has been adapted multiple times in different novels and movies, even to this day. In Hoopla, like I said before, it's categorized as a juvenile classic with elements of fantasy and magic. Most of you obviously know the story of Peter Pan, the boy who refused to grow up, who has a fairy sidekick named Tinkerbell, and loyal followers called the Lost Boys. While it is considered a children's story, I do think adults will enjoy the fantasy and magic. Thanks to some of the movie adaptations, like especially Disney's Peter Pan or Hook, I am familiar with Peter Pan, but I guess I didn't realize how the book really started or the different adventures that came about in Neverland. And I know more thanks to this book. His descriptions of the different characters and setting of Neverland is slightly different than some of the more recent adaptations, and you actually get to see more of Mr. and Mrs. Darling as characters and their personalities than you probably would have in some of the movies. There is a reason that more and more adaptations of this story is being made. It's a timeless classic and it reminds us to never grow up. So if you would like to read more of Peter Pan, I would definitely recommend the original story by J.M. Barrie. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next Thursday, July 30th at 1 p.m. We'll be doing another APL Mystery Reads. Don't forget, tomorrow, Friday, July 24th at 1 p.m., we're doing an APL Reader's Corner. We will have Tessie and Elizabeth. The genre for this week is steampunk, and they will be reviewing the book The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison. Really excited for that. Also, in case you didn't hear, some of our Aurora Library branches have started reopening this week, and the rest will reopen next week. We have new hours for all of our branches. They will be 10 to 6 from Monday through Friday. We also have some new safety measures and precautions that have been put in place, so please check out our website for more information. Even though we are reopening, for those who still want to, you can participate in our curbside pickup during our open hours. Thank you so much. My name is Nicole. Thank you for tuning in to my APL Mystery Reads, and I hope you all have a great day.